But you can see here, 1.7 million, 2,000 retweets, and that is, like, that's crazy engagement. 60,000 impressions in 20 minutes.
The Indiana Fever recently released footage of Caitlin Clark training with Stephanie White, and it's already generating a lot of buzz and accumulating millions of impressions. Let's roll the music footage you can see. Remember how people predicted she would lose followers after that interview? Well, 1.7 million views later, those critics are eating their words. Like an artist honing her masterpiece, Caitlin Clark's movements are more deliberate and precise. This is a metamorphosis in the making, not just another off-season training. Let's examine what makes this workout so unique, since Clark's skill is like magic and she has several tricks up her sleeve. Her first session with Stephanie White is already drawing attention. While most athletes use the off-season to stay in shape and possibly practice their signature moves, Clark is focusing on her weaknesses and attacking them head-on. You might be wondering what her weaknesses are, since she is already dominating them, but that's precisely what makes great players unique. They're never content. Let's take a closer look at what Clark is actually working on in this workout. She is getting really good at off-foot layups. You've seen her glide to the basket before, but now she's taking it to the next level. Clark is also practicing finishing with her non-dominant foot, which may not seem like much, but trust me, it makes a big difference because she will have a secret weapon to surprise those towering defenders when she drives against them.
Like, she's not out there practicing stuff that she doesn't need to practice. Obviously, she's still getting shots up and stuff, but it's like, work on your weaknesses. Work on your weaknesses and work on the important weaknesses. Like her finishing and her ability to kind of shoot that floater, that mid-range, the in-between game. Not shoot long twos, but everything about the in-between game was the biggest downside for her.
This type of versatility, which distinguishes players like Nikola Jokic from others, is uncommon among American basketball players. Clark is demonstrating that she is a member of the League of Innovators by thinking ahead, remaining unpredictable, and staying one step ahead of the game.
Caitlin Clark, like, this is not an easy shot, by the way. This is a off-foot left-hand layup floater from outside the key. Like, that is not an easy shot to shoot. She's working on a lot of off-foot stuff, a lot of like jump stop in finishing. Like, almost all the finishes she's making are off-footed, which I really like, and it's something that there's a severe lack of, especially teaching at youth level. Like, if you go to like a Serbia or something, like, those off-footed layups are like what almost all the coaches are teaching you.
But that's not all. Clark is already known for having a deadly left hand, but now she's working to make her right hand equally deadly. Can you imagine how difficult it will be for her to defend when she can score just as well with both hands? It's like she's opening up a whole new side to her game.
The mid-range shot to her game, and with her adding that is her adding something else to her toolbox that is going to be electrifying. Because not only do you got to worry about her getting inside, getting to the paint, you also got to worry about her killing you from three. Now she's going to kill you from the mid-range as well.
Let's discuss those floaters, which are those gentle, high-arching shots that appear to float over the outstretched arms of the defender. Clark is getting better at them, which is a wise move because floaters are a guard's best friend when the paint is filled with defenders.
She has a little bit more of that. Oh, I like that. Caitlin Clark shot a shot stepping to her right, and I like that again. So a pull-up midi and a shot stepping to her right, and I actually like it because when she's shooting to her right, she's not bringing the ball over this side, because we know with the deep threes, like, a lot of the time you have to bring the ball from somewhere, and like, she brings it over this side of her head to kind of get a little bit of more power in the arms, and she'll do that with a jump shot. But I like the way on her right side, she doesn't look as comfortable shooting, as uncomfortable shooting to her right as she did last season.
However, this is where things start to get interesting. You can see the focus on Clark's face as she repeats the movements, creating muscle memory. This isn't just about looking good for the cameras. It's about getting ready for battle on the court. Clark isn't just practicing the motions in a mid-range shot. She's driving in the ball, seemingly an extension of her hand.
She's driving in more. She ain't selling it for 3, and she's getting her mid-range shot all together now. Look, another mid-range shot.
And Stephanie White is leading this basketball symphony. You may be asking why everyone is talking about White's appearance, but let me tell you that this isn't your typical coach-player connection.
So obviously when you've got your head coach leading the individual player workouts, I like that. Because like, obviously Stephanie White was a player, pretty damn good player. But for me, I think it's a big thing with when it comes to Stephanie White, is that like, you know that there's a level of respect there.
White has a wealth of knowledge. She has coached at the top levels and played at Clark's level, but what really makes her stand out is her hands. White is seen in the video showing movements on the court and providing immediate feedback. This kind of engagement is uncommon from head coaches, particularly when it comes to individual practices.
She could work out with whatever coach she wants, and she's choosing to work out with the Indiana Fever coaches. Guarantee you she would not be choosing to work out if Chrissy Sides was still there. So that's obviously the level of coach that she is, that Caitlin Clark's actually choosing to work out with her team for individual workouts.
Stephanie White is totally committed to Caitlin Clark's progress, mentoring her through each repetition like a master craftsman molding their protege. Most head coaches might drop by for a few minutes to offer general suggestions. White's coaching philosophy focuses on developing players' potential and pushing them above their comfort zones, and with Clark's skill and motivation, the outcomes may be remarkable.
And obviously it's just her with some assistant coaches. I'm surprised there are not more players like kind of almost in these workouts, but they're probably doing a lot of workouts with individual players.
Clark is a formidable force already, but with White honing her craft, she could become unstoppable. It's not just about picking up new moves. It's about improving every facet of her game, making her more effective, unpredictable, and deadly on the court. What's even more amazing is that this is only the beginning. We're seeing a glimpse of the unrelenting work that creates legends. Week after week, Clark adds new abilities to her arsenal, demonstrating her Kobe Bryant mentality. It's simple to observe her dominating on game day and assume that she has a natural skill, but the true story is the hustle she puts in behind the scenes.
It seemed like she just got something new in her game every single game. Like, do you guys remember the game she just started spamming the behind the back dribbles? Was it Dallas before the Olympic break? Where, like, with Caitlin last year, I'm not joking when I say this, if you watch game by game by game, it was like, you know, in 2K when you just equip new animations, she would just randomly get a new animation every game.
But here's the thing. The workout is only one aspect of this story. There are many others, including the physical changes, fan reactions, and implications for the forthcoming season. I promise you that you will want to hear about them all. Both Clark's abilities and her fan base are obviously growing. For example, when some people thought her fan base would decline following her Time magazine interview, they couldn't have been more wrong. Instead of her reputation being damaged, she's amassing millions of impressions, demonstrating how strong her bond with her fans is.
But you can see here, 1.7 million, 2,000 retweets, and that is, like, that's crazy engagement. 60,000 impressions in 20 minutes. And like, that's the thing, is like, so many viral tweets about this add to that. Like Robin Lundberg, he's got nearly 300,000 impressions on his tweet.
This was no ordinary practice footage. It went viral in a way that no one anticipated. The video received 2,000 retweets on Twitter. You might be asking yourself, well, but how does that compare to other WNBA content? Well, let me tell you, it's not even close. For women's basketball, this degree of engagement is enormous.
It is nowhere near like getting 1.7 million views on YouTube. Like, that is a difference. There is a big difference between that. But like, this is just a training video. This is literally just a video for a practice. We're talking about practice, not the game. Not the game that she goes out there and dies for. Insert backup camera. Not the game she goes out there and dies for. We're talking about practice.
And the comments are blazing. The league isn't prepared for what comes next, according to fans. And another that truly stood out was Caitlin getting ready. She's obviously a basketball player, so it's obvious that people aren't just watching. They're deeply involved in Clark's journey. In response, someone said,
About to crack 1 million views and we're trying to convince us Caitlin Clark's fans are gone.
This is where things start to become really interesting because all of those forecasts that Clark would lose supporters couldn't have been more wrong. This video demonstrates that Clark's true supporters, those who genuinely care about basketball, are standing by her. They don't care about drama on social media. They're there for the game and for Clark.
About to crack 1 million views and we're trying to convince us Caitlin Clark's fans are gone. And like, that's the big reason I'm making this video, is like, people were actually trying to say Caitlin Clark's fans are gone. Yes, the Jason Whitlocks of the world are gone. I mean that. Jason Whitlock is, the likes of him are gone. But they were, like, they're never watching it for sports. The people that were never here for sports, yeah, they might be gone. They genuinely might be gone.
What does all of this mean, then? It's straightforward. No matter how you feel about it, Clark isn't just maintaining her fan base, she's expanding it, and she's doing it by being committed to what really matters to her game. This training video, with its amazing engagement, is the ideal illustration of what WNBA content can do. Her concentration on the game, like LeBron's, speaks for itself.
Just like it does for LeBron.
Even if they've turned on Caitlin, these people were never about the sport. They're just looking for a new target. Their target was Angel Reese, and they were trying to big up Caitlin, even though for nothing to do with basketball. And now their target has changed to Caitlin. And they're not going to big up anyone. They're just going to attack Caitlin, just like they've attacked LeBron for years. Like, it doesn't matter.
Now, let's take a moment to discuss Angel Reese. You may be wondering, wait, isn't this about Caitlin Clark? But as Clark works on her flaws, this is where things start to get interesting. Reese is adopting a new strategy. Have you seen her recent workouts? She's sticking to what she already knows rather than pushing herself like Clark does. It's like watching two distinct strategies play out in front of our eyes.
But it's like, work on your weaknesses. Work on your weaknesses and work on the important weaknesses.
Reese isn't concentrating on those important layups, which are the foundation of every player's game, and she's not addressing her weak points. This is in stark contrast to Clark's intensely focused training sessions, such as...
It's like, if I had Angel Reese for the summer, my focus is literally just to raise the point of her layups. To just, instead of her shooting the ball from here with two hands, especially off her right hand, because she doesn't have the worst hook shot with her left hand, because she's got really good touch on scoops, I would try to literally teach Angel Reese some sort of just a hook shot. Instead of releasing the ball from here, release it from here. And that's going to not double her field goal percentage, but that's going to add 10 points to her field goal percentage.
Can you envision Reese, one of the most dominant players in the game, honing her layups and again practicing the fundamentals that could impact the game if her coach adopted White's strategy?
Just get her to make layups. Like, that's what I would do if I was Angel Reese's skills trainer. And then she would, like, be a lot better for that.
The problem is that Reese isn't pushing herself beyond her comfort zone. Rather, it seems as like she is happy with her present skill set. Sure, she is amazing already, but in this game, if you don't get better, you're slipping behind.
There was a stage in Angel Reese's workout where I saw her catch the ball, dribble it on the spot, and like sidestep, wait 1-2, and shoot the three. And I'm like, you are never going to shoot that shot.
I'm not implying that Reese isn't putting in a lot of effort, but there's a distinction between merely keeping up your abilities and actively addressing your shortcomings. What does this mean for the upcoming season? Well, we might witness Clark play at an entirely new level as she takes on her issues head-on and isn't just practicing. She's improving her game rather than just keeping it up, which could cause problems for her rivals. Reese was among them. If you have been following Clark's journey, you may have noticed that she has been giving the waiting area a lot of attention in that viral exercise video. Clark seemed to have changed into a completely different player overnight, as evidenced by the noticeable increase in size and definition of her arms and thighs.
And again, look, I reckon Caitlin Clark is going to be even better coming into the season. Just look at her arms, for God's sake. Like, I might actually make an entire video on that. Look at how much bigger her arms are. Like, she's obviously going hard, working out in the off season, which is good.
Now that we don't have all the information, you might be asking what kind of off-season training schedule could cause such a drastic difference. It's obvious that Clark has been working hard. We're talking about rigorous strength training, likely in conjunction with a well-planned diet to gain lean muscle mass. This is all about getting her body ready for the physical demands of the WNBA, but here's where it gets really interesting, With her new strength, Clark could become an even bigger nightmare for defenders. Picture her driving to the basket with more force, absorbing contact better, and still making those difficult layups. And let's not forget about her defense. That extra muscle could help her hold her ground against bigger opponents and battle through screens more successfully.
Somebody said the league is not ready for Caitlyn. 3.0 MVP is hers. Yes, go. Fever admin, I love you. Caitlyn put some weight on, bro. She definitely got it in the weight room.
This type of change in a player is not unique to Clark. Both Brianna Stewart and A.A. Wilson developed significant muscle early in their careers, becoming powerful players on the court. Could Clark be on the same trajectory? If so, how might this new strength alter Clark's style of play? She might be more inclined to challenge defenders at the rim and drive into traffic. She may be able to defend different positions more successfully and retain her shooting form late in games thanks to her increased strength, which would make her an even more flexible player.
After her game, and with her adding that is her adding something else to her toolbox that is going to be electrifying.
This is the reward. Clark's apparent muscle growth is positioning her for what might be an incredible rookie campaign, with some pundits even predicting that she could win Rookie of the Year or perhaps make an appearance on the All-Star team. Speculating about MVP contention may seem absurd, but anything seems feasible given Clark's skill set and this recent physical change.
Like, I don't think Caitlyn put weight on. I think Caitlyn put a lot of muscle on. I think that's what the biggest difference is that we're seeing out of Caitlyn. You know, going into this upcoming season, I think Caitlyn put a bunch of muscle on, and it shows. It shows within her, you know, her body frame. It shows that her arms is bigger and her thighs is way wider.
However, keep in mind that bodily changes are only one aspect of the situation. When you combine Clark's improved physique with her already amazing skills and work ethic, let's just say the rest of the league should take note. Her cerebral game and basketball IQ are also off the charts. Clark is poised to establish herself in the WNBA. It's not just about learning new skills. Caitlin Clark's laser-like attention on her areas of weakness is preparing her for an incredible rookie season. We've watched her hone her off-foot layups, perfect her right-hand shooting, and master those floaters. Clark is completely reinventing how she scores.
Like, the amount of more floaters that she was shooting. Like, it seemed like she just got something new in her game every single game.
However, this is where things start to get interesting. Keep an eye on Clark because this is just the beginning of her journey from college superstar to WNBA sensation. I promise you won't want to miss what comes next. Clark's training method has the potential to revolutionize women's basketball players. She's not only focusing on her strengths, but also taking aim at her weaknesses. If every WNBA rookie adopted this strategy, we might be witnessing a completely new level of play throughout the league. Clark is altering the game by doing more than simply playing basketball.
Okay, nice floater. And to be fair, you could tell she worked on her floaters coming into post-Olympic break. Like, the amount of more floaters that she was shooting.
But here's where